Hello, welcome to Rebellious Thoughts Podcast. Um, Today is a little different since I have some new equipment, so you should be able to hear me better. Um, and we will be doing a lot of reviewing of videos and talking about what is going on in today's world, especially with president in charge, the speech he gave to the generals, him and this head self guy, Department of War, Secretary of War, Secretary of War. And we'll just basically just be giving my 2 cents on some of the things we're seeing, um, and where I see it going. This is Rebellious Thoughts Podcast, where we talk about everyday things going on, political policy, sports, conspiracy theories, and yeah. I'm your host JV. uh I need to give me an intro. Oh my god, I need to give me an intro. And I seen this one for the AOC talks. Yeah, well, the let's go see what the aunties have gotta say.
When I first came here, I didn't know what to expect, and when I started seeing the lab, I was like, "Wow, this is different."
It's zero surprise to anybody that's awake and aware right now that a convicted felon president of the United States shut down the government for nefarious reasons and is weaponizing every part of the government that he can against half of the American citizens. This is stunning. And to talk about these developments, I have our favorite senator, Oklahoma native, Boston proud, Massachusetts proud Senator Elizabeth Warren. How's my Okie girl doing today?
Oh, personally, the Okies are hanging in there, but I got to say, this is a hard time for our country. But we're in the fight. And, sometimes there are righteous fights, and that's what you got to stand up and do.
I agree. I want to put something up that the Trump regime put on the HUD website. Kylie, pop this up. So this is a government agency funded by taxpayers.
Okay, Angie says the radical left are going to shut down the government and inflict massive pain on the American people unless they get their 1.5 trillion wish list of demands. The Trump administration wants to keep the government open for the American people. Okay, I just want to stop right here because the Trump people, and this is something I can personally speak on. From my understanding, the Trump regime is wanting to cut funding to the Affordable Care Act. And the Democrats are trying to stop this. If you don't know what the Affordable Care Act is, I can kind of walk you through it since I recently was working as a contractor for the marketplace of the Affordable Care Act through Pennsylvania and Georgia. Okay, well, the Affordable Care Act allows, which is, Obamacare, which is crazy because a lot of these stupid people who voted for Trump didn't even know that they have been living off of Obamacare for the past few years. But you voted for someone who wants to take it from you, and this is the only insurance most people can get, and that's affordable. Yes, sometimes it takes your tax money because if you basically lying on how much you're making. If you lie on how much you make, yes, they will take your taxes. But for the most part, I mean, what the fuck is taxes as long as you get health? You get to keep your health. You get proper use of your health. and you'd be surprised how many people this has helped. Um, People who can't even go a day or two without taking certain meds, for they would catch heart attacks or different things that would go on. But the way it works is you get tax credits. It goes off of your income, the income, the people in your house. Yes, the income, how many people in your house, and what else? Income, how many people in your house? Yes, that's basically it. It goes off the people in your house and the income. The income as a collective, a household collective. It doesn't go off of just like one person income. It goes off like, and that whole income is like split. Like, let's say you make 100,000, everyone else in the house makes zero. They're gonna take that 100,000 and basically split it as if you all made 25. Therefore, your tax credit, which you probably would have been like, oh, we're only gonna get like $200, off on our insurance. No, you may get $1,700 off. Um, yeah, I've seen some people literally don't pay anything for insurance because of the tax credits, and they're making $200,000 a year. But it sounds like good money. But a lot of people don't realize the government doesn't work off of what you make. It was off of what the household makes. A lot of people get stuck on what they do individually. The government, and it's crazy because America has institutionalized people to believe that everything is what you do as a person of your own, but a lot of it's off what you do as a household. What do you do as a household? And when you look at certain households, you will see that a lot of households, um when you break it down, they don't make enough money. Like, now they just brought out these new earnings to live a comfortable life in these states. And it's for individual people. Like, what do you make individually? And so you can see me a little better. When that what you make individually. Now, yeah, let's say my spouse. I work construction and different things. So, the most I ever made was like 64K. 64K. My spouse, she makes, you know, um almost six figures. Her income is good enough for her as an individual to live in the state of Texas. But us as a duo, as a household, when you break it down, it really doesn't come out to that much. It's not like, oh, y'all guys are making a bunch of money. No, technically we're not. Because let's say I don't even know how much it is I'm gonna come out making this how many years. Let's say I made $50,000 this year, and she makes 80, 90. Let's say 90. That's 140. 140. The way they go, they say you're supposed to make 90, like 92,000 in Texas. A person. That means, I'm sorry, thought of someone was here. That means that we are off another 50K from being living the way we need to live, to be I'm not talking about like living some fancy lifestyle. I'm just talking about living a decent lifestyle, to maybe take a vacation or two a year, have a nice vehicle or two, have a place to live, like a house. Yeah, we're fucking off a lot. People don't realize how certain things work. And with the Affordable Care Act, it was able to make it to where people who a lot of people who make a lot of money, they make a lot of money, but not everyone else in the household makes a lot of money. A lot of people in the household make pennies. People think the job market is some a crazy, amazing job market because what Trump says is bullshit. The job market started falling down in his second year of his term. hit the first time, and it hasn't gotten right since. When Obama was in office, I can honestly say the last 2 or 3 years of Obama, you can see that the job market was booming. When I say booming, it didn't matter what color you was. You were making money. You were making enough money to buy you a brand new car. You was making enough money to put a down payment on a house. You were making money. Construction was booming. I've watched, as a black kid, I watched us in our early 20s. So many of us go buy brand new vehicles that we would probably never. I was one of the first people with a special edition, Impalas. I held first person with Impala, period, the new body styles when they first came out. People didn't even know what the hell the car was. Had a cousin who bought a BMW. Another guy seen he bought a fucking a Corvette. Like, what the hell? Like, people buying trucks. I mean, it was crazy the money we were making. Hand over fist. We were working 6-7 days a week throughout the year. I mean, turnarounds, this money just everywhere. It was just so much work. And soon as Obama got out, it was still good. Yeah, Trump got in, it was still good. And I noticed his second year in, you started seeing the descent. You started seeing people move a little different. They hire people different. And the problem is with racism, racism is expensive. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but racism is very expensive, especially when you do not have the right people to do the right job. And just because they are white don't mean they know what the fuck they're doing. Most of the time, white people, I know it's gonna come off kind of racist, but a lot of them don't know shit. They are there because they know somebody. They are not there because what they know. And that destroys jobs. I've watched a white man have one of the baddest positions. I mean, one of the big dog positions, making big money. Fuck up a $1.5 million pour. Fired. The head honcho, fired. Another one did the same thing, fired. I watched companies. I work for this one company. They worked conjunction with another company. This was like one of my first maintenance positions. And it was more of an on-call position because they would do plastic welding and we would do like the whole fire watch thing. And the company got tired of waiting and fighting to get someone to come be their whole watch. And I always came, but even though I lived like 40 minutes away, I was always there when they needed me. But, they tried to make sure I didn't have the most hours. Hell, I thought I was the only black person worked there until one night I went in the office and the black dude see me and we pointed at each other. He was like, and he looked at me, he's like, "You work here?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Shit, I thought I was the only one work here." I was like, "No, I work here too." And he came from the Baton Rouge office and was like, "Shit." It's like, look at us. We're moving on up. And they got tired of fighting to get consistent workers to come in. Cause see, white people, they like to go on vacations, especially in the winter. They like to hunt. They like to do all kind of shit. Black people, we never had that luxury, but we can go do all these different things. So we go to work. We go to work, and that's it. Work, 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 work. Well, it was time for it was time for like some work to happen, and the supervisor for that company, he made a request to him. He was like, "Hey, you need to make Vine your supervisor." I mean, he's gonna come in. We know he comes in. He does his job. He doesn't complain. He does everything that's asked. He's the most reliable worker y'all have. The company would not give me that position. The company would not give me a foreman position. Hell, the company wouldn't just give me a permanent position where I show up every day. They always kept me on call to the point where the company got tired of it and canceled their contract with them. That company never came back to the plants in our area. You literally lost millions of dollars because you didn't want to see someone in color in a position. So when people say, "Oh, they're racist," but I don't think they'll do this or do that. Like racism, stupidity knows no bounds. Like they will lose everything. And I'm about to give you another story of someone who was making 30 million to 40 million clear a year lose their contract because of racism. I worked for a company called R&R Construction. If you worked in Sitco, you knew them. They literally was the head honcho contractor in Sitco. It got to the point after years, man. I got to be a foreman there, but never a full-time foreman. It was just too much. I don't like you're not gonna play with my money. You're not gonna play with my mental. I have no patience for stupid shit. I've never been that person. Like when I start feeling like you're playing with me, you're doing stupid shit, I'm just gonna go work somewhere else. I'm not gonna argue with you. We're not about to go back and forth. I'm not about to try to fight you. I'm just gonna leave. That's what constructions do. That's what we do in construction. We just go work somewhere else. And I came back for a turnaround, and they got this guy. He's never been a foreman before. I was supposed to be the foreman of the job. They wound up making him the foreman, and they wound up asking me and this other black guy named Tony. Shout out to Tony if you ever watch this. And they wanted us to basically groom this guy to be a foreman. And we both just flat out said it. Fuck no. We're not doing it. We're not gonna groom someone to keep us from having a fucking job. Like, no. He's a fucking idiot. One, he breaks all the fucking rules in the refinery. Why the fuck would we give him our job? Like, no. We make it through the turnaround. Lord have mercy, that was a shit job. We make it through the turnaround. Everything, they wound up losing some money because of power outage, which blew the budget of the plant and the company. So therefore, we couldn't stay on maintenance after the turnaround. We got laid off. Yeah, they're gonna lay black people off first all the time. It's just how they do. They lay us off and they keep fuckers who don't want to work. Ain't that some shit? Just because their skin color is light. Well, they kept him. His old lady was like the daughter of one of the head second in command, and it wound up happening where one of these dipshits they made foreman did something, and they hid what they did. Well, it caused a commotion because now the safety for the actual refinery wanted to find out, where the fuck those papers went. Where did the accident report go? Well, they wound up, I guess, having a key to get in the office. They go in the office. They look through cabinet files for the to see where the accident was, the accident papers, and they find there's a hidden area in the cabinet. And in this hidden area, there is a shit ton of hidden accidents. These fuckers have been having accidents left and right, written up, but wasn't turning them into the refinery. You know what that meant? That meant that that meant that they were gonna lose their fucking contract. And it also meant that what also set it off was the guy who got hurt. They hid the paperwork, but the guy, he was suing. And because he was suing, they needed the paperwork. The company didn't know the guy was suing. Or didn't know. Or they did know and they were trying to hide it. But white guy, he is suing the refinery. Well, company wound up losing their fucking contract. You no longer makes 30-40 million a year. You've just lost your biggest contract because you put dipshits in charge who didn't follow the rules the right way, and you put all an office full of white people who thought the way to do everything was hide from the refineries what was going on and do crooked shit. And so now you're fucked. Yeah, you still have work, but the work is not what it used to be. The company's not what it used to be. It's and that's how it is with a lot of these companies. I got plenty of stores. That's the reason why they didn't want to be in a refinery some more. One is fucking cancer you get from it. One of the guys I worked with, Duhan. Prayers up to you, brother. We're in our 30s, bro. We're early 30s. And he got diagnosed with cancer, bro. When I seen that, bro, I felt like I was sad for him, but I know it's fucked up, but I was kind of relieved that I felt like I dodged a bullet. Cause I felt like if I'd have worked a few more years, especially if I was still with R&R, I'd probably have cancer. And who knows, I may have it. I have to go get certain tests done. I need to take probably like this one cancer test that tests everything, because we dealt with a lot of chemical cleanups and we dealt with a lot of fixing pipes after chemical exposure and stuff. And people get on my nerve. People get on my nerve with these fucking masks for COVID. This little paper mask they put over their face. That shit will never, never, never. Asian people wear that shit too. It will never, 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 never stop you from getting fucking infected. Don't wear it. You're wasting your fucking time. Don't wear it. Don't wear it. I've worn from fucking paper masks, cloth masks, fucking any mask you could fucking think of. Fucking masks make you look like fucking Darth Vader. We have air oxygen pumping in there. None of those motherfucking masks keep you from getting it. Unless you're in one of those fucking biohazard suits, you're going to get fucking contaminated. You hear me? You're going to get it. You're not going to get away from it. You're going to get it. I've worked in a tank that had acid in it. It was no longer wet acid. It was like a powder mixed in. And we're working in there. We got the AC pumping in the mask. We're all covered and stuff, and we believe we're great. We believe we're great. We were in there too, man. Me and DeRusso, my boy, like a big brother. So we working in there. We're getting it. La 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 la. We're just in there living in there. Cause like fuck it, we're in here. We're not about to just take this shit off after we just put it on and go to lunch. We're gonna work in this motherfucker. And then we're gonna, once we done, once we done a nice bit, we're gonna go to lunch. We're gonna take our own special lunch, which we like cause nobody in our damn way. We get out the tank. We start unhooking everything. They have someone who helps you. You can take all that shit off. And the first thing we know, oh shit, there's shit coming out of our nose. There's some of the substance coming out of our nose. And the first thing he does, he sneezes in his hand and he looks at me and he say, "Let me even the motherfucker." he just look at me like, and when you're black people, we have a million words just right then and there. Bitches killing us. They killing us. And that's just the thing, bro. Like, you can't stop from getting infected by this shit. So when you're working in refineries and you think you wear all these fucking masks and they're gonna stop some, they're not stopping shit. They're not stopping shit. There's gonna be a lawsuit one day against those fucking masks. There's gonna be a lawsuit against the whole process. And when I'm trying to talk about when I'm coming from the process, I'm coming to contamination and spills. You, the people, if you live in areas where refineries are, you have been contaminated. You've had oil in your water. You've had chemicals that would normally, shit, if it didn't touch that water, it'd probably kill you in a second or two. Shit that give you warts like a fucking frog. I mean some real sinister shit. Shit that'll make your skin bleed. Oh man. I mean, shit turn you into putty like Jello. Real crazy shit out there in these refineries. But yeah, I wanted to get at, because I was watching something and they were talking about, yeah, nobody want to wear their mask. I was like, you stupid motherfucker, that mask doesn't work. Like you're beating a dead horse. You're talking to yourself. The fucking mask doesn't work. But yeah, I've kind of waved long enough. Let's get back to the video. I'm so sorry. Oh man, I like this new mic and this setup. Yeah, I hope y'all, yeah. Applause, baby.
And they put up, the radical left are going to shut down the government and inflict massive pain on the American people unless they get their 1.5 trillion wish of demands. The Trump administration wants to keep the government open for the American people. First of all, let's just talk about how it's all a lie, but let's talk about how stunning it is that his language and his administration are constantly attacking and riling up a civil war type issue between the right and the left instead of having the government work for all of us.
The biggest challenge to starting your own med spa, especially if you're an RN, is finding the right medical director. Moxie not only provided you with
that, and that he uses everything. That your tax dollars pay for that agency and pay for that website. And the idea that they use it, there have been government shutdowns before with Democrats in charge, with Republicans in charge. And the websites say things like, during the government shutdown, so-and-so will not be accessible here. But they want to turn it into another, Fox News banner. And that is not only maybe a violation of the law under the Hatch Act, but it's just fundamentally wrong. That the president and the government, whoever is in political power, is supposed to be there for all of us. And that's what's going on right now. So if you can, let's back up for just a minute about what's happening. This is all about budgets. Every year for a zillion years now, the Republicans and the Democrats come together, no matter who's in the majority, and by a super majority vote in the Senate, it takes 60 votes in the Senate, they pass a funding budget for the next year of Congress. And our years run until September 30th. So yesterday was the last day of the year. And by that time, you've got to pass a new budget. All that works. Sometimes we get things we like, sometimes we don't. It's better to be in the majority, but even then, you got to make concessions to the other side. In July of this year, the Republicans, all on their own, said, we know what that budget is, but here's the deal. We are going to roll back health care for 15 million Americans. We're just going to cut them out of our health care rolls. And we are going to drive up the cost of health insurance for pretty much everybody in the country that has private insurance or insurance through their employer. And why were they doing that? Because they wanted to find.
Now, I wanted to stop that because see, I didn't know that. I didn't know about the rising cost for it. Now, I brought it up that with the tax credits, a lot of people were to able to get $1,700 a month insurances, $1,200 a month insurances for them and their kids. If they raise the fucking prices, no one will be able to, no one, the insurances for some of these people are already 20 some hundred. Some of these people insurances are more expensive than their fucking their house notes. Dude, think, oh my God. I guess so. I get so I get so emotional about if you know me and know who I am and know the things I've been through and the things I fight for sometime, especially with people who are um disabled like my mother and stuff. I've helped people get insurance. I found ways to help people get insurance who 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 couldn't afford to get it. I have fought to get people insurance. I spent fucking almost a year doing that. Just so this son of a bitch can undo it all in a day. You know what it's like to talk on the phone with a woman who's disabled? She has nobody there for her. No one cares. And you're able to find a way to help her so she can have her medicine. Because if she doesn't have her medicine, she may go into a seizure or stroke or have some type of medical complication. You know what that's like, bro? You have to be real fucking wicked, man. You have to be real wicked. What makes what makes a hero is protecting those who can't protect themselves. I'm not gonna say I'm a hero or nothing, but I remember in church, it's been a long time since I went. The pastor he told us to live Christ-like, and I didn't know that we were supposed to. I thought, Christ was, he was here, and we were here, and we're just trying to do a quarter of it. But when I found that we were supposed to live Christ-like, um, I kind of changed how I did things. I start being honest about things. At times, maybe I shouldn't be honest. I start doing things to be more of a God loving person. Um, Even when it hurt me. I've I've worked in the I would say I worked in the on the insurance side of it and the government side of it. And man, you know how hard it is for these people sometimes to get their medicine. You know how hard it is to get them their insurance. And then you know how hard it is for some of them to have the insurance. And the insurance only want to pay for certain medicines. And they need certain medicines. Some of these people, bro, they have to take on family burdens. I had this one guy, man. His nephew had autism. Both of the kids' parents died in a wreck. I spent hours. I spent like 2 days fighting to get him that medicine. It's crazy because, bro, as much as I'm like pro-black, bro, I do so much for other people who are not even black. Like a lot of these people don't even be black. Like a lot of these people, they hurting our white people, bro. But the thing is, bro, like I have a disabled mother, I have disabled family members. I know what it's like. I'm sorry. You have to be a real sinister person, bro, to want to hurt people who can't help themselves. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I'm so sorry. I was having a moment of weakness, and you know, I really care about people who can't help themselves. Especially when I worked in construction. I spent a lot of my time. I never recorded it if anything, but I used to, feed homeless people. Not a lot of people don't know that about me. Not in my family. Just to hear that, bro, you're gonna. Some of these people are working people, and I mean they're working, bro, but they're struggling. Like people think just because you make 100K that you're making some type of money, bro. That's not even money no more in this world. But 100K and 4 kids and a wife, stay at home wife, bro. Fuck, you might as well be working at McDonald's. Especially, you gotta think about it. I'm going off of what I've seen. Numbers I've had to run and tell people. $2,600 a month for insurance, with subsidies helping you, knocking it down to about anywhere from $400 to $700 a month. So you're paying $400 to $700 a month for the 4 of you. Okay, that's because you have a subsidy paying the other 20 some hundred or 15, 16, 1700. They want to take the subsidy away. They take the subsidies away. Now you're looking at 2,600. Not only do they want to take the subsidies away, they want to raise it. So let's say they raise it $100, $400. You may be paying $3,000 a month for you, your wife, and your 2 kids. One of your kids may be very sickly. I've had people like that where they can't afford to allow that kid to miss a fucking doctor appointment or not get their medicine or treatments. So now you're paying $3,000. Private insurance. State marketplace. You're paying it. You bought a house maybe a couple years ago. You may pay anywhere 12 to 20 some hundred on that. Say, I've heard people say they're paying like $2,100. That's $2,100 plus $3,000. That's $5,100 a month. $5,100 a month. At $100K a year, you get about 80 of it after taxes. The government beat the shit out of you on taxes. They extort us. They rape our fucking pockets. They take the money. So your 80K, what that is. About $7K a month, maybe, that you get $7K clear a month. You know, give or take a couple $100. That's already, that leaves you with $2,000. Have you fucking bought groceries in this fucking country? Have you bought groceries in this country? I remember when $100, $200-$300 would feed you for the fucking month. That shit may feed you for a week. Especially if you're cooking and you're meal prepping your food so you don't have to go out and eat. It's just as expensive as going out to eat. You basically gotta eat bullshit. Then that's not your kids' medicine. That's not other things that you're not. You know, kids want to be in little programs and shit. That's not that. That's not. Then they want to take free lunches away. You have to pay for that. That's not gas. You know, I used to spend $400 a fucking month on fucking gas working in construction. I didn't even know I was spending it. I just know I put $20 a day, and I worked anywhere from 5 to 7 days a week. And I just was, just doing my thing. La 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 la. I lived 40 fucking minutes away from work. No one really lives that close to their jobs. It is very hard to get a house close to your job. And then certain places like in the refineries, why the fuck would I want to live close to that? That's a death trap. Why would I want to live close to that? So then you have that problem. Bro, it's fucking crazy. That $2,000 is not gonna last, bro. After people think you're fucking doing amazing. Oh yeah, you get 7,000. Don't let the IRS or some fucking asshole see you owe them money. That's not credit cards. That's not, the wife want to shop, Pampers or something. Man, bro, that money will go quick. I've watched money go quick. I've gathered mass amounts of money, and at the same time, watch it just go woof. And like, what the fuck? Like, it takes nothing for that money to go. Like, people think money, like, oh my God, you can do all kind of things with money, and it's gonna be there, and that's not so true. I'm sorry, I'm just responding to a message about some medicine that was dropped off over here. But yeah, man, that's real fucking sinister there. Let's go back to the video. I'm sorry about tearing up earlier. I'm working on talking about my feelings on camera and stuff. Oh my God, I'm still new to this.
Find $1 trillion that they could give away to billionaires and billionaire corporations in tax goodies. Okay,
and so they don't even give a shit about the people.
All voted no. We yelled as loud as we could, but they passed it with 50 votes. They had the power, and so they passed it. Now we come around to the budget, and what Democrats are saying is, all right, you guys want to do the budget. We're all for that. We want to do a budget, but we want to talk about those healthcare cuts you stuck in after the last time we did a budget. We want to talk about taking away healthcare from seniors who are in nursing homes, taking away healthcare from mamas with little babies, taking away healthcare from people with disabilities who need a wheelchair. We want you to roll back those cuts. That's what it's going to take to get this budget.
Your insurance pays for your wheelchairs and stuff.
Under the would-be king, Donald Trump, said we won't even talk to you.
YouTube TV may drop.
They won't talk to you.
No more
Won't talk to you. Won't talk to you, but Cankles will need that same fucking insurance in no time. Ain't that a bitch?
Memory lapses. Drop 5 drops of this mix with all.
He will need that shit real soon.
I did it, and now I think like I'm 20.
Get out of the room. We won't even talk to you, and said We would rather shut down the government than make healthcare affordable and accessible for Americans. I just don't understand people like that.
Well, let's think about the breathtaking hypocrisy that the majority of the people in this administration identify as Christian nationalists. And the central character of
Fake
Christianity,
Christians, they're
Jesus, was
demonic.
radically empathetic to the poor and the sick. And yet this administration constantly attacks the working class and the poor, and then tells you the 1% you should be worried about are these immigrants who are good, hardworking, actually the majority of them religious people of the same faith that they are, or trans people, which are less than 1%. Meanwhile, these downright diabolical billionaires, when they're not kissing Trump's ass, are taking corporate welfare subsidies from the American taxpayer. And it is just unbelievable, the whiplash and the hypocrisy from the party of family values, from the party of Christianity. And then when it comes time for them to show us what their faith means to them, when it comes time for them to show the American people that they are empathetic or care about every American, instead they demean the poor, and then they try to blame people like you and Bernie Sanders, who have never had to change your political positions. You always stand for the working class people. And now they're trying to make it illegal. They're trying to be the thought police and say that we can't call them fascists when what they're doing is fascist shit. And so I think it's a time for us to never obey in advance, Senator. Never obey in advance and call them exactly what they are. And I want to play this clip, and I want you to discuss the way that this president, this felon, spoke to all of these generals yesterday at Quantico. Play the clip, Kylie.
Important mission. And I told Pete, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid governor, stupid. They threw him out of his family business. He was so stupid. I know the family. He becomes governor. He's got money. Not money that he made, but he ran for governor, he won, and now he criticizes us all the time.
This motherfucker hasn't never made any money for himself. Your dad gave you money. Your dad gave you money. You fucked the money off. Your dad gave you more money. You fucked that money off. Your dad gave you more money. You opened a casino in Atlantic City and you fucking closed the casino. We have casinos in Louisiana. Anybody, if you ever come to the South, everyone comes to our casinos. You know that some of our casinos have been there before my ass was born. I was born in the 90s. This fucking guy is one of the worst businessmen to ever walk the fucking... How can you fucking collapse a casino? You are one of the worst businessmen. Your dad was a robber baron. Once he died, you got that fucking money. Your mom didn't even believe you should be fucking president. You are a fucking prick. And then he talks about fat people, out of shape. Motherfucker, you're one of the most out of shape people in this fucking country. You are built like a fucking penguin. Your fucking hair on your head is not even fucking your hair, from my understanding. Your wife doesn't even want to fucking kiss you on the lips. You're a fucking pedo, and it seems like you had a love relationship with Epstein. You fucking DL motherfucker. Oh, I hate this fucking guy. Some days you just wonder, why don't he just get... Just saying.
Time. Last week they had 11 people murdered, 44 people shot. The week before that they had 5 people murdered, 28
If you
people
cared about
shot.
that, you stop the war
Every
in
weekend
Gaza.
they lose 5, 6. If they lose 5, they're considering it a great week. They shouldn't lose any.
So, Senator, he's priming the public and the military at the same time that we're going to be against each other. And this, if anybody is a student of history, this is what fascists do. This is what autocrats do. What is your take on how dangerous and disrespectful that is to not only American citizens, but also to these career serving patriots that have served in our armed forces?
Boy, you hit the two words, dangerous and disrespectful. You know, all three of my brothers served in the military.
I have
One of them
family
was
members
career
served.
military. My oldest brother, John Reed, 6 years off and on in Vietnam. My brothers served proudly, but my brothers weren't trained, and my brothers didn't sign up to go after fellow Americans in our cities.
Hell no.
That's not what they did. My brothers were willing to put their lives on the line because they wanted to defend our country from foreign adversaries. And for this president to turn that around and say, no, he wants to be able to use the military for political purposes. He's used them before as political props. He wants to be able to use our military, and he wants them to use as a training ground our cities. It is fundamentally wrong, and it's exactly as you said. Watch what he does. He kind of puts it out there and then pulls it back a little bit and then puts it out a little further and tries to get the American people to adjust to the idea that we're going to see armed soldiers walking our streets. That's not what we do in a democracy. And
Huh. Sorry. Oh, shit.
I often think, where is the moment when you just stand up and say, we can't do this anymore? What this man is trying to do to our democracy. And I want to say here, with the help of spineless Republicans in the Senate and in the House, is to take away the very foundation of our Constitution. And for the rest of us, it's time to stand up and be counted. It's time to say, no more of this. I am a proud American, and I'm willing to fight for what I believe in.
When I listen to comments from leadership, I think the leadership said this week they're hopeful Republicans will come to the table on the budget bill. And I look at that and I think, are we still hopeful these Republicans are going to do the right thing? Because they haven't done the right thing yet. They have done nothing but capitulate to this man and enable this illegal behavior. So do you have hope that they're going to somehow turn around and start being fiscally
Hell
responsible
no.
and do what's best for the American
Demons
people?
don't turn their fucking
So
turn
I
into
would say
angels.
this slightly differently. It is easy to say Trump is all powerful and he's just going to do what he's going to do. But wait a minute, that is not 100% true. You may remember last March and April when we were talking about the tariffs and what all he was doing with the tariffs, and all of a sudden, the stock market dropped, the bond market dropped, and boom, Donald Trump put it in reverse and backed up. He announced that he's going into Chicago. When did he announce that? 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago? He's been threatening to, and he's gotten a lot of pushback from the governor. He's gotten a lot of pushback from the people of Illinois. He's got a lot of pushback around the country. And at least I can say, as of this moment, he has not done that. He said, yay, Jimmy Kimmel is off the air, right? And then enough people pushed back, and Jimmy Kimmel had his best night ever. So I want to start with a sense, it's not about hope, it's a sense of our power. When we push
People
back,
power.
when we say, whoa, that is not okay with us. It's not easy, but Donald Trump starts to move back. The Republicans in the Senate start to move back. And that's why what's happening right now is so important. Why Donald Trump is threatening to hurt as many people as he can if this this back and forth over health care doesn't stop, because what the Republicans absolutely do not want to do is have the American people, all of them, hear that right now we're having a head-to-head in Washington because the Republicans would rather shut down government than give access to health care to the 15 million people that they're trying to push out of the system and keep health care affordable for tens of millions more. You know, the Democrats are not asking for a long list of things. We're not even asking for any new money for health care. And good Lord knows our healthcare system is broken. There's a lot we need to do in our healthcare system.
trash.
Anyone who's lived in pre-approval hell or tried to get an appointment with a general practitioner understands where the healthcare system is broken. We're not asking for more money. We're just saying, don't kick 15 million people off their health care. These are people who need that health care. That's what the fight is about right now. And the Republicans want to talk about anything else, because if enough people hear this and fight back, Donald Trump and the Republicans will back up. They backed up before, but it takes pushing back. It takes showing that you got some fight in you and that you think that this is a righteous fight. Fighting for people's health care, fighting for seniors in nursing homes, fighting for brand new babies, fighting for people with disabilities. You bet that's a righteous fight. And that is the fight we are in right now. We just need a lot of people in it with us.
And I just want to close with the elephant in the room, and I should probably say the donkey in the room. It feels like there's a disconnect between Democratic leadership in the Beltway and the base. And we, of course, have built a community here as well with other pro-democracy podcasters. Mm-hmm. And the base feels like everybody's ready to take this fight, but the leader in the Senate has been not that inspiring and not that organized. And we are craving just very black and white leadership. Absolutely, positively, no, we're not voting with this fascist regime. They're trying to be the thought police. They're doing fascist stuff. They're saying you can't call them what they are. We're going to call them what they are. We're not going to obey in advance. And I feel like we could all organize and put pressure on centrist Republican senators and people in industry titans. ABC effed around and found out, Senator, to the tune of billions of dollars. And it showed that we have power. And so I feel like right now in this moment, Senator, we need massive leadership. So if you will take that to the leaders of the Senate, because the base is literally plucking their hair out by the root right now, because we're ready to organize, we're ready to fight, but the leadership is not trickling down. And so I just want to get your take on that and a word to the base, and
She's
not
talking
just
about
the base,
Hakeem Jeffries,
independents, and maybe
cowards.
triple Trumpers that were like, oh shit, I didn't realize he was going to do all of this. Yep. What is your message? Because there's a vacuum here and it needs to be filled. And I'm afraid it's going to get filled with grifters and nefarious people on the right if Democrats don't step in and fill it.
Right. All hands on deck. Now is the moment. We are in the fight. The fight is to save health care for 15 million Americans. The fight is to be able to save your insurance. The fight is to be able to save our democracy. We have no kings.
And be able to live in
country.
this fucking
and
country.
We are not going to let Donald Trump, helped by a bunch of spineless Republicans in Congress, take over our government and decide that it works only for Donald Trump's friends, Donald Trump's donors, and a handful of billionaires. We are in this fight. Healthcare is the tip on the spear right now, because we are fighting for our grandmas. We are fighting for our babies. We are fighting for our neighbors and our friends. We are fighting for our own families. We are in this fight to save the Republicans. Donald Trump is not a king.
That was a fight that I didn't know.
Want access to affordable health care, and you cannot take it away. so that you can give $1 trillion to a handful of billionaires. We will call you out and we will fight you. But we need everybody
We need
in
to
this
cut
fight.
them
That's
them
what gives
billionaires.
us
We need
real
to
power.
liquidate their
We're
accounts.
signed up.
We
We're
need our
fired up
money
and ready
back.
to go.
We need
Senator
our fucking
Warren,
money
thank you
back.
so much for always having
Elon,
moral
Jeff
clarity
Bezos,
and for
you are no
always
longer
fighting for the
billionaires.
people
We
that
have
are
liquidated your
voiceless
accounts.
and
That money is going back to the
exploited
American
by
people.
corporations and
Thank
by
you.
government. It just means a lot to have
What's that
somebody
little
on
other
here that has
cocksucker?
just and has always had such moral clarity. Keep fighting the good fight. Good luck at
Bill
work
Gates.
today. Yeah.
Hang in there. I appreciate all that you do. Keep it up.
Thank you, Senator. We'll see you soon.
And yeah, let's give them applause. We got a long way to go, people. The fight is just starting, and we're going to have to make sure this shit never happens again. That people like Trump never see the light of day in a fucking presidential office or high positions ever again. Hell, if it was up to me, it'd be against the law for those sons of bitches to be in this country. You're anti-American. You're pro-Nazism. I don't even know how you could be pro-Nazi and pro. It's not even really pro-Israel. There's pro-Zionism, Zionists, because Zionists they use Israel. They use the Israeli people. They use Jewish. They use it as a cover. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They use it as a cover to go commit their dirty deeds. You know, if they could, you know, they'll hide behind someone else if they had to, if that would help. But you know, the people they hide behind are Jewish, and everywhere they go, before, you know, Germany, they would be kicked out of different countries because they always did fucked up shit. And here they are again doing fucked up shit. And they always get to this point. Go look up in history. They always get to this point where they get kicked out and they're damn near almost exterminated. It's like it's a revolving door for them. Like they can't get right. Like that should be their name. Can't get right. It's like, why would you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again? You know what you're doing is wrong. But why keep going down that same road? And it's like they never learn, bro. They never learn. This is JV. This is Rebellious Thoughts Podcast. I will be working on my YouTube channel, Rebellious Thoughts. Let me make sure. I'm so sorry. I am not the biggest tech person in the world. Where's my thing? Your videos. I'm trying to see what exactly how did I do it. Okay. Oh, it's Rebellious Thoughts. There's no podcast on this. Rebellious Thoughts. Check it out. Don't know what these videos are. But yeah, check me out. I will start putting shorts, a little shorter content. I will do the long range content also. So yeah. This is JV from Rebellious Thoughts Podcast. As we go, we will get better. We will do more. I would love to start having people on here who have things to talk about. I feel like it's always good to have someone else to pass ideas off of, and and listen to what they have, the knowledge they have, and we talk about certain things that we normally wouldn't talk about. So yeah, thank you.